Barrister Mbeseha, I'd
Yes.
like you to address this particular topic. It came quite as a surprise that Philemon Yang is now, with the position he holds at the UN, is actually going to aid and abet Paul Biya's campaign in Bamenda. It's one thing for him to stay silent, but then another thing for him to actively get involved in ensuring that the Paul Biya, who has been president for 42 years and counting, continues that cycle. What are your thoughts on this, Barrister Mbeseha?
Well, those who expected Philemon Yang to stay silent are people who don't know who Philemon Yang is. Don't expect Philemon Yang to stay silent because he is, take away the word traitor, he's great. He's one of the greatest beneficiaries of this occupation, of this assimilation since 1961. He's gone through the wrong and fire of the administration. He has benefited. I'm not sure there's no other person in Ambassador who has benefited like Philemon Yang. And as a reminder, Philemon Yang comes from Kumbo. He's supposed to be the son of the warriors. When Philemon Yang graduated from the University of Yaoundé in the late 70s, he went to Enam to become a magistrate. I was posted to Biya to do just the start. He had not even been integrated into the magistracy. He was called from his small office in Biya to come to Yaoundé and become the minister or vice minister of mines and power. He was in the late 70s, at the time under Ahijo. I remember me myself in 1979 going to Philemon Yang's office in Yaoundé as Minister of Mines and Energy, whatever they call it at the time, to look for a job when I was a student in Yaoundé. So he has been there forever. And Philemon Yang, again, fast forward, I say he has benefited from this regime more than any other person has. If there's an Anglophone, they call it Anglophone problem, he ought to know. He's a lawyer. So he is an unrepentant traitor to the cause. He had benefited, as said, from the time of Ahijo in the 1970s when he was minister. And when you move from there, fast forward, you can remember that 2016, when this crisis started, it was Philemon Yang, the prime minister. He was in the office in Yaoundé as a prime minister. Gogomo, who was supposed to be negotiating these things between the teachers, the lawyers, was from his office. That was Philemon Yang's staff. And when the government decided to arrest Agwambala, Fontaine, and so on and so forth, Philemon Yang was in office as a prime minister. It was his dears that Agwambala and the rest said they wanted to address the form of state. And because they wanted to address the form of state, they were arrested. That was under Philemon Yang. Since then, he left office and rested for a while. But prior to that, after he becoming minister, let me go back to it again. He became an ambassador. He became an ambassador in Canada. Before that, he was the assistant secretary general in the presidency. So he has occupied all these offices in the administration. It's not because he doesn't know. Then he gets to the United Nations, appointed by Paul Biya, and does over he does for 1 year. Even saw him going to meet the Pope in Rome, Pope Leo XIV recently, as an envoy of Paul Biya. So it is not, it's Philemon Yang, he knows everything that he can talk about. So if you're expecting anything to come from Philemon Yang, you are deceiving yourselves. Because Philemon Yang would have said, if he was the one in charge of the negotiations in 2016, why they arrested these guys, he would have said, no, this is enough. He would have put down his feet and said, nonsense will end. He didn't do it. He sided with the administration. If Philemon Yang has had any money, which I'm sure he has, if he's rich, he's rich. He has been rich from the administration. He's rich from Paul Biya combined with Ahijo. And so he is supposed to, he's there. We'll call him Ambassador Honor by name. Call him Ambassador Honor by name. And so if he's appointed to head President Paul Biya's campaign in the Northwest, call it like that, we know that we're not going for elections. And I can guarantee you this, you're not going to see Philemon Yang somewhere in Bengui or somewhere in Dop campaigning for Paul Biya. lie, because nobody will even come out to listen to them there when they're campaigning for Paul Biya during these elections. They were was having an office. It's a money making office. They have just created another forum for him. They get money for himself. Because election campaigns in Cameroon, especially the presidential elections, go with a lot of money. They are giving chunks of money. No accountability is demanded from you. You do what you like. The rest you keep it. So whatever amount he was given, he's going to be given to be the campaign manager for the Northwest. It's his personal money. He can give you Biya if he wants to. He can give you bread and sardine if he wants to. He's not going to give back the money to Yaoundé. And so this man is known as, he's not even a double dealer because he's not pretending to have an funds. He's a straightforward traitor. He is a traitor to the cause. Abdul Karim is expecting much from him. Nothing will come from Philemon. Don't expect anything to come from him. Because what is going on now, and what has always gone on from 1960, we will not be where we are until Ahijo and later on Paul Biya was able to find Ambazonians who could cooperate with him, who could sell his criminal doctrine of one and indivisible. One of those people who is still living right now is Philemon. There's nothing he has not benefited from the regime. Financially, international recognition, and everything you can imagine about it. He served as ambassador in Canada for so many years. Can you say he doesn't know the difference between Quebec and Canada? He knows that. I say he's a lawyer. He went to school. He went to law. He studied law in Yaoundé. And so don't expect much from Philemon. He's a traitor. If he wanted to be useful, I've insisted, it would have been useful in 2016 when Tassang, when Agwombala, when Fontaine they were asking for a revisit to the constitution. It is his government that obstructed the idea because these people in the consortium, they thought that they should unite with the ones on the southwest and present one delegation. Say, no, we'll talk to the people differently. We'll talk to you in the northwest differently. That was Philemon acting through his agent, Gogomo. To do what? Because he knew that if you address the root causes of the problem, if you address the constitution which they were asking for, that would go to the root causes of the Ambazonian problem. But he blocked it. He blocked it. I expect nothing from him, so I should not even expect to hold him accountable. The only thing I can do if I have anything to say about him is to call him a traitor. Remain where you are, we know who you are, we don't expect any change from you. Philemon is not a small boy. At least he's in his 70s or 80s. He's an old man by every standard. He's an educated man by every standard. He's a diplomat by every standard. Having served as ambassador, having served at United Nations. He's a politician by every standard. Having served as a prime minister, having served as minister. In different categories. This is seizing man in every aspect of life. But if he refuses to see what we stand for, what else can we do? She will continue to beg him. No, we're trying to make a stone to turn a stone into water. It's not possible. Let us forget about him. Let us focus on something else.